What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at Patriots Day, directed by Peter Berg and starring Mark Wahlberg. Patriots Day tells the story of the 2013 Boston bombings and the events that led up to the bombings and the ensuing investigation that followed soon afterward. Okay, so I remember hearing about the Boston bombings back in 2013, but I don't know the whole story. So, like, the story of the Boston bombings in my brain is very very sketchy at best, so I'm just going to review this movie standalone. So pretty much as a standalone movie, I think Patriots Day is a damn good movie. I thought this movie was really really good. Peter Berg has become one of those directors who has become pretty much a pro at doing these stories focused on like these everyman blue collar type of workers, like with Lone Survivor he focused on the Marines. With Deepwater Horizon, he focused on basic construction worker type of dudes, and in this movie, he's focusing more on the civil servicemen, like the police and people like that. And Peter Berg just does a really good job at making his movies have this grounded, realistic grittiness to them. Like everything that you watch, it feels real. It doesn't feel like you're watching a movie. It feels like you're watching a documentary in a way, and that's what Patriots Day feels like to me. It's the way Peter Berg handled his production with this movie. Like the camera, in a lot of instances, feels like it's being handheld. It does have some shakiness to it, but it's not overly done. But Peter Berg tried to give off the impression of a realistic type of feel, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. He made the movie feel relatable and feel like it could happen to any American town in the United States, and I applaud him from a production standpoint and a directorial standpoint. From a casting standpoint, this movie is bolstered with a very good cast. Mark Wahlberg plays our lead named Tommy Saunders, who is a Boston cop, and I thought Mark Wahlberg in the role was really good. I enjoyed him in this movie. This isn't Mark Wahlberg's defining career role. Absolutely not. If in the annals of Mark Wahlberg's catalog, Patriots Day can go down as one of those movies where it can get lost in the shuffle a little bit because Mark Wahlberg doesn't do anything that really stands out in this movie, but that's okay. His character is that of a Boston police officer, an everyday guy, who is who has to handle a situation that is beyond the control of everyone around him. And I thought Mark Wahlberg handled the role with a lot of nuance and a lot of class. I liked it a lot. The supporting cast includes J.K. Simmons, John Goodman, Kevin Bacon, Michael Beach. They all played their roles really, really well as the counterparts to their real life actors. They played the versions of their real life counterparts. John Goodman played the police commissioner, Bacon played the FBI agent, and Michael Beach played the mayor. And J.K. Simmons played another cop, a sergeant from another town in Boston. So I thought they handled their roles really, really well. I liked them in it. I think J.K. Simmons could have been in this movie just a little bit more. I think his scenes are peppered all throughout, and until you get to like the big shootout near the end of the movie, J.K. Simmons to me, it didn't feel like he had an active. Well, his character at least to me didn't feel like he had a. Didn't feel like he had active involvement in the investigation. That's just how I feel personally. Though I do like how near the end of the movie he where the cops are pretty much pinned down by the two bombers, and you got the Watertown Police of Boston and the Boston PD trying to take down these two guys who were throwing like pipe bombs at them. I mean, the big climactic scene at the end is very very thrilling. It's very nail biting, suspenseful. Barely no music plays in that, and Peter Berg really makes it feel like you're watching something that's real. I really love that big action sequence at the end of the movie. Another thing I appreciate about this movie is that it doesn't feel like an action movie. It feels like a thriller. No, Peter Berg did a really good job at putting the investigation front and center and keeping the action to a bare bones minimum until you get to the end of the movie. I mean, yeah, you still got some action bits peppered throughout here and there. And at the end of the day, he is telling a story that was based on events. So you're going to get, some events that did happen, like the two bombers killing a cop in his car, kidnapping this kid to take his car. and Peter Berg does show that, and the scenes are really well handled, very well directed, well acted as well. Though I think in the movie, some of these characters, I don't feel I got to spend enough time with them to really care about them once they are killed off. I'm talking about it from a movie perspective. Like I would like to see more, so that way I can feel some of the deaths. But for the most part, I think they were handled with a lot of nuance and with a lot of class. And I give Peter Berg a lot of credit for giving a lot of care to telling the story and not making this overly bombastic Hollywood thriller. Like, he made a movie that he felt needed to be done to show the courage and the sense of community of the town of Boston during a very difficult time that they went through with these two bombers. And speaking of the two bombers, the two actors who played the two bombers, I thought they were okay. They acting wise, they weren't anything special. One of them is played by Alex Wolff, who is more famous now for doing the Jumanji movies. He plays the younger brother, and the other brother is an actor who I have no clue on. I thought they were okay as the bombers. Acting wise, I thought they were fine. Yeah, nothing really special about them from an acting department. They played the roles to the best of their abilities. As actors, they were fine. But for this movie, I was more focused on the investigation, and I think the investigation part of this movie is where it really shines. With the Kevin Bacon character working with the Boston police, trying to figure out what's going down. And they do have a lot of scenes. I particularly like the scenes of Bacon and Goodman constantly bickering at one another, trying to with the John Goodman character wanting the people of Boston to know who the bombers were, but the Kevin Bacon character being hesitant at first because he wants to make sure it's concrete proof. So I like how the Goodman character pretty much has the nerve to stand up to the Bacon character, and they do have some very entertaining bantering back and forth, with both men standing their ground and holding on to what they firmly believe in. It's just good performance and good acting, and it's actually the first time I've seen Goodman and Bacon share screen time together, and I would not mind seeing them share screen time again, because I thought they had pretty decent on-screen chemistry and good bantering with one another. So yeah, I mean, this movie also has other supporting actors in it who are good as well, like Michelle Monaghan, and I think her name is, I can't remember. Michelle Monaghan, who plays Tommy's wife. She's okay in the role. She doesn't really do anything except be a concerned wife. She has maybe a couple of scenes here and there. She doesn't really play an active role in anything. I think when the actual bomb scene does happen, it's a very intense scene. Like, when we actually see the bomb go off, it's a very intense scene, and just the franticness and just the horrificness of those events, it's haunting as to what happened in 2013 during the bombings. And the movie's recreation pretty much gives you a good idea as just how tragic it really was. Severed limbs and innocent and kids were dead. It's just horrific and graphic, and it goes to show you how an event like that could have tore a city apart. But in this instance, it brought a community and a city together, and together they were able to, they were able to take down these two bombers. It's kind of like, it's both a tragic story, but at the end of the day, it has a very uplifting ending, because it shows that as a community, you can do more together than you can apart. And I think that's the best message Patriots Day really does send out, is that it gives the sense that a community is strong when the people inside the community band together for something that's band together to keep the community safe, for lack of a better expression. And I give Peter Berg a lot of credit for portraying that message, and I thought he portrayed that message in a very respectful way and not a pandering way. And that's the best that's pretty much the best I can say about Patriots Day. So overall, I'm going to give Patriots Day a 9 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I think this movie was really good. I think out of the 3 Peter Berg movies with Mark Wahlberg I've seen, Patriots Day, I think is going to be my favorite one. I just loved it. I thought it was really good and really well done. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Patriots Day. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like this video and subscribe. And I'll check you back next time for more.